Hi, my name is Bridget and I'm from New York. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. When I was born, my dad used to take me to the aquarium all the time because that's where he worked as a marine biologist. Hanging out in Dad's aquarium made me fall in love with all the animals, and one day when I was around 7 years old, my dad took me into the water to meet Tulip. She was a dolphin, and she touched my nose with her long mouth.
Dad, I think she likes me.
I think so too, sweetie.
You know, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
I loved my dad so much. I also had a great mom too, but she was always out working since she was a top lawyer in the country. My life was perfect until I came home from school one day and found my mom crying. What's wrong, Mom?
Bridget, I don't think your dad is coming back.
What do you mean he's not coming back?
His job called and they sent out some lifeguards to search for a research crew they sent out at sea, and they can't find him.
Mom broke down again, and I wanted to comfort her, but I was also breaking down. So I ran to my room and turned on my rock music up loud. This was my way of ignoring the facts. 2 years went by, and my dad still never returned. And I became the geek who covered her face with her hair and walked around with a hoodie and books. And then, in my senior year, the school wanted to take us on a 1-week trip to the Atlantic Ocean, but my mom refused to let me go.
I'm sorry, Bridget. I already lost your father to the ocean, and I'm not losing you too.
But Mom, this is my opportunity to explore the best sea creatures in the world. Mom stood her ground and stuck to her decision. But when I told my biology teacher, Mrs. Jam, she immediately came to my house since I was her top student and she adored me to bits.
Hi, ma'am. I came to speak to you about Bridget. If it's about that trip to the Atlantic Ocean, my answer is no.
Mrs. Jam was a very persistent person, and somehow she managed to convince my mom. I was so excited! The last time I felt this happy was when Dad took me camping.
Please stay safe.
I will, Mom. She hugged me tightly and almost didn't let go. The ship that we sailed on was huge, and on the first night, the kids in my school organized a party on the boat. But I didn't have many friends, so I sat by myself next to the edge of the ship, reading a book, until suddenly I spotted a dolphin. Hey there, little guy. I leaned over to touch him, and then all of a sudden I toppled over, almost falling into the sea, until the hottest guy in school caught me and pulled me up. His name was Shane, and this was my first time being this close to him.
Wow. What were you doing at the edge of the boat?
I saw a dolphin that I couldn't miss.
Haha, okay, that's cool. Just don't fall in again unless you want to be swimming with the dolphins tonight. And how come you're out here alone when everybody is having a good time at the party?
I just wanted some fresh air. A gush of breeze lifted my hair from my face.
Wow, you must be a Vogue model.
My face turned red, blushing at what he said. And then this girl, Jessica, approached us. She was one of the popular cheerleading girls at school with a massive attitude.
There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
She clung onto Shane and smirked at me.
What are you doing with her?
He wanted to talk to me. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, yeah. He is my boyfriend.
Well, maybe you should write your name on his forehead then. That way we will all know that he belongs to you. Shane looked at me, speechless. I was very quiet in school, but not stupid. When the snobby girls gave me an attitude, I gave it right back. After that scene, the teachers called it a timeout, which meant we all had to go to bed. And while we were fast asleep, there was a sudden bang, and then screaming.
Everyone, we need to get off the ship. The ship is sinking.
When I put my feet on the floor, there was already a puddle of water. I ran with all the other kids and we got onto a lifeboat and rowed the whole night until we came to an isolated island.
Oh my gosh, my hair is so damaged.
Jessica and her crew of cheerleaders looked like recycled Barbie dolls without their makeup. And then Shane suddenly appeared in front of me.
You still look the same. I guess natural beauty pays off in the end.
Shane, come here. I need you.
Jessica was such a control freak. She wanted Shane to hug her because she felt emotional, and him just popping up and randomly calling me beautiful was also a little strange, but I wasn't complaining. I looked up at the sky and saw that the clouds were heavy, and I remembered my dad showing me how to build shelter with banana leaves and sticks. And when I started gathering the sticks and leaves together, Jessica started mocking me.
What on earth are you doing?
Building shelter. Do you want to help?
I would never do something so degrading like that. Because I'm a lady and ladies like me could never do a maid's job.
So we're stuck out here in the middle of nowhere, and all you can think of is your lady self. I guess you're not only selfish, but also very dumb.
Ha! How dare you? It's not like we're going to stay here forever. Oh wait, I forgot you finally made it home, where you can be all alone and live amongst the sea creatures. You're such a geek.
All her friends laughed. Then Mrs. Jam gave me a hand and Shane joined in.
This is actually a bright idea because it looks like a storm is caving in.
After we built the shelter, it didn't take long for it to start pouring down, and Jessica and her minions ran to the shelter. Wow, looks like my geeky little shelter is now useful. Jessica smirked at me. Then she stood next to Shane, pulled him closer to her, and kissed him madly. A part of me did feel jealous, which I didn't understand since she was her boyfriend after all. Later that night, as we fell asleep, I had this strange dream about my dad. And then suddenly, I woke up and heard someone shouting in the woods. I bravely got up to see what it was, and then I screamed when someone touched my shoulder. Ah! Oh my gosh, Shane, what are you doing here?
I saw you get up. What are you doing out here?
I heard someone shouting. Did you hear that?
Yes, now be quiet.
We walked further into the woods until we reached a cave. We didn't have any torches, so we didn't go in. But when we turned around to go back, we were surrounded by some strange people who carried spears and dressed in animal fur. Oh my gosh, please don't hurt us! They poked us lightly with their spear and then took us to their campsite where we had to bow down before their chief. The chief pointed at me and then he asked his people to smell my hands as if they were about to eat me up. And then they tied me to a pole and started a fire. My heart pounded with so much fear. No, please! I taste like Marmite! Please don't eat me! Ah! Just as they were about to set fire to the pole, a man appeared.
Stop!
His face was covered with a beard, but I noticed his eyes. They were just like mine. Dad?
Bridget!
He cut me loose and hugged me tightly. Dad! I thought you were dead! We hugged each other, crying and smiling and feeling so overwhelmed. The strange people of the forest adored him because he saved them from pirates once, and ever since, they took care of him. How come you never came back?
I tried, but there's no way out of here. We're stuck here.
The strange people also let Shane go, and we slept in their campsite for a night. The next day, before we could go back to the rest of the kids, I woke up early in the morning to find a spot to pee. While searching for a spot not too far from the campsite, I suddenly came across a ship beached on shore. It was abandoned, so I went inside to check it out. Wow, we could actually get back home with this. While talking to myself, I felt an ice-cold sword on my cheek.
Hi there, little girl.
When I turned around, a tall, dirty man with a pirate hat stood before me, and then 3 other men joined him. I come in peace? As they tied me up, I wondered if maybe these pirates were just like the ones we watched on TV. So I tried my luck. If you let us use your ship, I can show you where the treasure is. They looked at each other, and then the captain came closer to me with his smelly breath.
Hi.
What does I mean?
Show us the treasure.
Only if you allow me and my schoolmates, plus my dad, to board this ship. They grouped together to discuss, and then they agreed. But when I took them to the campsite where my dad and Shane was, the pirates suddenly changed their minds when they saw my dad.
If that man is your dad, then no.
Dad, what did you do to them?
I just kind of exploded their camp with a little bit of dynamite.
Oh my gosh, Dad, that's dangerous!
Annabelle, are you sure about this? These pirates are not to be trusted. They've taken a lot from the people of the forest.
It's our only way to get back home. I got Mrs. Jam to talk to the Captain Pirate, and once again she worked her charm, and we all boarded their ship and sailed off to find their treasure. As I sat alone on the deck, Shane came and sat next to me.
If it wasn't for you, we'd all probably be stuck on that island, turning into savages.
Yeah, what can I say? I got it from my dad. I'm so happy I finally found him. Jessica then appeared in front of us.
Why is it every time I look for you, you're always with her?
Jessica, wait for me inside. I'll be there soon.
She rolled her eyes and stormed back inside. Why do you let her control you so much?
I don't know. I guess because she's so popular and I just got sucked into being that cool guy who gets the hot girl thing.
And do you like that?
No, if I could create my own school, I'd rather have more girls like you around.
He always had a way with words. 2 days passed, and we were still sailing. And then one day, as I stood up on the top of the ship, looking through binoculars, the Captain Pirates and all his mates surrounded me.
Where is our treasure?
We still need to get there.
Stop lying or else we will throw your dad in the ocean.
I didn't know what else to come up with, since there was no real treasure. And then to show me that they were serious, they pushed my dad into the ocean and I ran screaming, "Dad!" When I looked down, there was a shark, and then I jumped. Since my dad and I were really great swimmers, we swam underwater and stayed really still. This was something my dad taught me about sharks. They won't come near you if you remain still. After the shark swam away, Shane let down a rope and we climbed back up, but the pirates were not too happy. Okay, your treasure is in New York. Once we get there, I'll show you exactly where it is. The pirates gave us a chance, and when we eventually reached home, the kids screamed for joy and thanked me.
Bridget, you saved us.
Okay, enough of your happy screaming. We still want our treasure.
When they pointed their swords at me, the security at the harbor saw this and came to our rescue. The pirates were arrested and we were all safe. When Shane came to talk to me again, Jessica immediately pulled him away. But this time, he pushed her away.
I'm breaking up with you, Jessica.
What? You can't do that. Every boy in the school wants to date me.
No, we don't.
A few boys walked past her and laughed at her hair, now that she looked like she was electrocuted. Jessica screamed her lungs out, angry at Shane for breaking up with her, and stormed off. Shane turned and smiled at me.
I guess I'll see you at school.
Yeah, I felt butterflies in my stomach after he left, and then my dad touched my shoulder.
Are you ready to go home?
Yes, I can't wait. When we walked into our house, Mom cried and ran into Dad's arms.
Oh, how are you here?
Bridget saved me.
We all had a big family hug, and later that evening, while we were eating dinner, there was a knock on the door. Dad opened it and then said it was for me. When I went to see who it was Shane.
Hey,
Hey,
I was wondering if you would go to prom with me.
and you couldn't wait till tomorrow to tell me this?
No.
He looked so cute when he was shy, and this time I pulled him closer and kissed him. Of course, I'll be your date. Hi, I'm Melody, and I live in LA. Please like and subscribe. When I was born, rumor has it that my dad took one look at me and said I was an alien. You see, I was born with scales like a fish covering my whole body. Oh my god, those scales! Please take her, I can't! The nurse was so frightened by my skin that she fainted while holding me. Mom grabbed me from her just in time or else she'd have dropped me. From that day onwards, my dad avoided being in contact with me, and as I grew older, his disgust for my skin condition worsened. One time, he got a promotion at work, and he came home more excited than I had ever seen him. As soon as he saw Mom, he ran to her and hugged her tightly. Excited, I also ran and joined in on the hug, but my dad shook me off so hard that I fell flat on my face. I told you not to get close to me! She's just a child! How can you be so ruthless to your own child? Shh, come here, my little mermaid. You're okay. Mom loved me very much, and she had tried for so many years to show Dad that I was harmless, but never succeeded. When she took me to kindergarten, the other kids cried and cowered in the corner, so I had to be withdrawn from school, and my mom homeschooled me. Unfortunately, she got very sick and passed away when I was 8 years old, leaving me all alone with my dad, who wouldn't even look at me. Barely a year later, Dad married this woman named Paula, and she and her daughter, Charlotte, moved in with us immediately. The first time Charlotte and I met, I thought she would run away, but she looked more amazed than shocked.
You look like a real-life mermaid. I bet many people tell you that.
Well, I haven't met many people. And it shall remain that way. You're not leaving this house. Ever.
But Mr. Hopkins, how will Melody go to school?
Dad ignored Charlotte's question. Instead, he turned towards her and his stern face transformed into a huge smile. Call me Dad, please. We're family now. Unbelievable! Clearly, Charlotte was the daughter Dad had always wanted. And if it wasn't already obvious he preferred her to me, he gave her my room. And where did I sleep? The basement. The only company I had was Charlotte, who sneaked into my room every night to hang out with me and bring me treats, books, and anything else I needed. You know, you could get into trouble with Dad if he finds you come here.
I know that.
And you're not worried that you'll catch something? We laughed as she combed my hair.
I can't believe Dad said that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Now can we listen to some music? Every night, Charlotte would put on some music and we'd dance and sing along. Sometimes, I imagined myself performing in front of an audience.
You have a great voice, Melody. You will become a star one day.
Huh! What a joke! I can't even show my face in public. So how could I become a star?
TikTok. Duh!
What's that?
Oh my god, you've never heard of TikTok?
Did you forget that I live in a basement? Charlotte looked so sad.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to sound so insensitive.
I burst out laughing and she hit me with a pillow. Come on, I have a TV, remember? Of course I know what TikTok is. Anyway, you think I'd be famous on TikTok?
Definitely! All we have to do is create an account and then post videos of you singing.
But everyone will see me.
Not if you don't want them to. You can just wear a mask and sing.
Charlotte, that's brilliant!
Let's do it! Yay! I even have the perfect name for the account. How does Masked Melody sound?
Charlotte was right. It was perfect. The following night, she came to the basement with a bedazzled mask that covered my whole face. It was the happiest I'd ever been in a long, long time. For the next couple of weeks, I sang my heart out as Charlotte recorded and posted dozens of videos to the Masked Melody TikTok account. The account kept growing, and I was shocked at the number of song requests I got from my fans. That's right, I had over 1 million fans! One night, Charlotte and I were in the middle of our recording sessions when Dad burst in. Charlotte was so startled that she knocked over the phone stand and the phone fell. Dad picked it up, and we knew we were in trouble. Dad had not been in my room for years, and the look on his face told me that he wasn't here to hug and make up.
Is this what you've been up to this whole time? Dad, I can explain. Melody has a really beautiful voice and…
I don't want to hear it! Take the account down immediately!
But…
Do as I say, Charlotte, and stay out of the basement! To your room! Now!
I'm so sorry, Mel.
And just like that, I lost my only source of happiness. I was back to being lonely, and I missed Charlotte very much. And my fans too, to be honest. After a few nights, I couldn't take it anymore, and so I took matters into my own hands and sneaked into Charlotte's room. Bad idea. Charlotte let out a scream and attacked me with a hairbrush.
Shh, it's me. Mel, I almost killed you.
With a hairbrush?
I doubt it. What are you doing here? Could you open another TikTok account for me? Pretty please?
She looked at me and hesitated.
Pretty please?
Even I knew she couldn't resist my charm. She laughed and finally grabbed her phone.
Here, let me show you how to create one and how to post so you can do it for yourself. You can use my spare phone.
Why? Can't you do it with me?
I would love to, but your dad threatened to kick Mom and I out if I kept helping you.
After Charlotte walked me through it, I hugged her, took her spare phone, and went back to my room. Just like my deleted account, the new one gained popularity quickly. Fans were excited and they asked me to cover songs by famous artists, including my favorite singer, Jonas. Jonas was every teen girl's dream, and his account had over 100 million followers. Doing a cover for his song kept me up all night. I kept deleting my recordings, but finally, I made a perfect one and posted it. Little did I know that it had just changed my life for good. I woke up to thousands of notifications. Before I could check them, Charlotte burst in looking breathless like she had ran here. Are you crazy? You can't be here. And don't you have school?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Charlotte, breathe! What happened?
Jonas commented on your video!
Now it was my turn to stop breathing.
What?
See? Charlotte shoved her phone in my face, and sure enough, there was a comment from him saying he'd like to see me audition for an upcoming talent show he was working on. The show was a big deal, and I couldn't believe he thought I was good enough to be on it. What do I do?
Reply and tell him you'll audition.
I can't. I knew that if I agreed to do it, it would mean that I'd have to show my face to the public. All I could think about was how fast I would lose my fans if they saw the face behind the voice. Days later, I still hadn't responded to Jonas, so you can imagine my shock when he posted that he had met Masked Melody and she had just agreed to audition for the latest show. He posted a photo posing with Masked Melody, but she was not facing the camera. Of course, it wasn't me in the picture, but I'd recognize that girl anywhere. It was Charlotte! Charlotte admitted that she met Jonas and pretended to be me, but insisted that she did it to help me.
I told Jonas that I have severe stage fright and will only audition if they allow me to sing with a full mask on and costume. And he agreed that since I am masked Melody, maintaining the mystery of my real identity will be good for the show.
I couldn't believe it! They will really let me perform with a mask on?
Yes, and costume. What do you think of a mermaid costume? You do look like a mermaid after all.
Charlotte was a genius! We spent several nights designing the perfect mermaid costume, and Charlotte had tailored it just as we had designed it. I had to make sure I was perfect for the audition as well, so I practiced tirelessly day and night. Everything was perfect until one night. My basement door burst open, and instead of Charlotte, her mother Paula was standing there. What was she doing here? Melody, your father and I are getting separated. What? I thought they were happy. Apparently not. Paula explained that she could not be with him anymore and was leaving him for good. But who will I stay here with? You guys are the only ones who actually care about me. Charlotte told me everything you two are planning, and I'm so happy for you and want to help, but I can only do that if you leave with us tonight. Yes! I was so done with that basement. Also, the thought of living alone with my dad made me cringe. I immediately started packing, and Paula helped too. A few minutes later, we snuck out, and I was surprised to see a trailer house parked around the corner. Charlotte was already inside, looking so excited.
Look what I got from the costume shop today!
She held my mermaid costume, and I was in awe. Oh my god, it's so beautiful! How did you even afford to pay for that? It's the least we can do for you. Thanks so much, both of you. Where are we going?
I own some property outside of town. We'll park the trailer house there as we wait for the audition and decide what to do next.
For the first time in my life, I was outside and free to enjoy the fresh air without worrying about who would see me or what they would say. Paula's property turned out to be an open field with lots of grass. I spent hours outside every night stargazing and enjoying the cold breeze. I worried constantly if my dad was worried about me or if he would even look for me. How would he react if he saw me outside? Or if he found out I was going to an audition? When audition day finally came, Paula hired a car and drove me to the auditions. My mermaid costume was a perfect fit, and when I finally walked on stage, the crowd went wild. I had never received that much attention in my life, and I was freaking out. Just then, I saw Charlotte in the crowd, and she gave me a thumbs up. As someone in the crowd shouted,
Nice costume!
I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and sang like my life depended on it. And it did. By the time I was done, the crowd was on their feet clapping, cheering, and giving me a standing ovation. It was magical, and I couldn't believe I'd done it. Within an hour, my TikTok account had gained 100,000 more followers. As soon as I left the stage, I rushed to the car trying to get away from the crowd, like Cinderella running away from the prince before the clock struck midnight. By the side of the car, I was surprised to find Jonas waiting for me with a bouquet of flowers. That performance was perfect, Melody, and this costume made it even better. Before I could even say anything, he hugged me and I felt butterflies. Just then, I spotted Charlotte, but she saw Jonas and disappeared into the crowd. Phew! If Jonas saw her, he would realize he had met a fake Melody, and that would be the end of my career. The competition was going well, and I made it to the top of each round. One day, after an exceptional performance, Jonas waited outside for me and asked me out on a date in front of eager fans.
Say yes! Say yes!
Okay, sure. Fans went wild, and the story broke out in the tabloids minutes later. But I was a little sad. Of course, it was Charlotte who'd be going on the date. I wasn't jealous or anything. Okay, maybe a little. Jonas showed up at the trailer at exactly 7 p.m. Charlotte had spent all afternoon getting ready, and she looked stunning. When she walked out, Jonas took her hand and opened the car door for her. I watched them drive off, and a tear fell down my cheek. When they came back hours later, my heart sank as I watched Jonas kiss Charlotte. I wanted it to be me kissing Jonas so badly. As time went by, Charlotte and Jonas grew closer, and she would not shut up about him. She told me details of every date, and with every date they went to, I became more resentful. One day, I couldn't take it any longer, and I just blew up all that pent-up anger at Charlotte. He doesn't even like you! He's only with you because he thinks you're masked Melody!
That's not fair! I am literally doing this for you!
How's kissing the guy I like doing it for me?
Well, it's not my fault you're not brave enough to show him the real you, Melody!
The fight got really ugly, and Charlotte and I didn't talk to each other for a few days. On the final day of the talent show, I was almost certain I would win before I even got around to singing. Sure enough, I gave a show-stopping performance, and I won!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner for the $1 million prize money and 12-month recording contract with Jonas record label, Masked Melody!
My dream had finally come true! I wanted to hug Charlotte, but she and I were still not talking, so I stood on the stage alone, still in my costume and mask. I was about to begin my acceptance speech when the crowd started chanting something that freaked me out.
Mask off! Take it off! Take it off!
Well, are you going to give your fans what they've wanted all season?
I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I bolted and disappeared into my dressing room backstage.
Melody, wait!
Charlotte ran in after me and hugged me.
You don't need to do it if you're not ready, but someone has to go out there. Can I?
I nodded hesitantly, and she waited for a few minutes, then stepped onto the stage as the crowd cheered at her. I switched on the TV in the room and watched Charlotte smile and wave to the crowd. How long was I going to hide? I needed to show my real self. I took off my mask and costume and put on a dress that showed a lot of my skin. When I walked onto the stage, the whole place went silent, apart from a few gasps and whispers. All I could hear was my heart beating. When Charlotte spotted me, she smiled and handed me the mic.
Sing, Mel. Do what you do best.
And I did just that. I closed my eyes and ignored some of the horrified looks in the crowd. By the time I was done, everyone looked confused, and no one clapped or made a sound for a while. Just then, someone in the audience broke the silence as he stood up and started clapping. I squinted my eyes to see who it was, but I couldn't believe my eyes. Dad? After him, everyone else followed suit, and I got the longest standing ovation of my life.
How's that for a twist? Ladies and gentlemen, the actual Masked Melody!
The cheers were deafening. I was swept off my feet literally by a pair of hands that turned out to be my dad.
Melody, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I only wanted to protect you.
But you were terrible to me and hurt me badly. Please forgive me. I will be a better father from now on. I need time to think about it. He begged me to go back home with him, but I couldn't trust him anymore. I couldn't help but feel that he only apologized to me because I was famous now. I am happy with Paula and Charlotte. Even though he looked hurt, he respected my decision and left promising to keep in touch.
So, you're Melody.
I turned to see a confused Jonas eyeing me curiously. Yes, and you already know my stepsister, Charlotte. I'm sorry we lied.
Oh, it's okay. You have no idea how famous we're about to get.
He pointed to a bunch of reporters taking photos and fighting to interview us. Charlotte was loving every minute of it, and so was I. The end. Hello, I'm Nina from Arizona. Please like and subscribe. My mom died when I was just a baby, and my very protective dad worked very hard to provide for me. On my 5th birthday, he dressed up as my favorite Disney princess, and when my friends made fun of him, he blew glitter in their faces. It was perfect. I was Daddy's little girl, and because of him, I got really into sports. At school, I was the captain of the wrestling team, and no one dared mess with me. Well, except the cheerleaders and their captain, Jenny, who kept making fun of me for looking like a boy.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the captain of the boys' club.
Get out of the way, Jenny. This is not the time to make fun of me. I was so out of breath because I was carrying seats to the gymnasium for an upcoming event. As I walked past Jenny, she tripped me and I fell. I tried to get up, but my knee was all scraped and bleeding. Jenny and her cheerleader Barbies were busy laughing when a girl walked up to them and threw a hard punch right at Jenny's perfect nose.
Ouch! Who are you?
The new girl stood toe-to-toe with Jenny, staring her down. I'm Lola, and if you mess with Nina again, I'll break your fake nose. Lola flipped her purple hair at Jenny, then helped me stand up. Thanks. How do you know my name? Long story. Come on, we'll be late for class. As I limped down the hallway, Jamie, the captain of the boys' wrestling team, spotted me. I had a huge crush on him, but I'd never tell him because he was Jenny's boyfriend. Oh my God, Nina, what happened? Jenny happened. She hates Nina because of you. What do you mean? It's obvious. Jenny is Jamie's girlfriend, but he likes you, Nina. Jamie looked so embarrassed. Jamie, is that true? Yeah. I like you and Jenny knows. I'm so sorry she's mean to you because of me. Don't be sorry. I like you too. We stared at each other, smiling. I forgot all about my hurt knee and walked toward him. He reached out for my hand, but Lola jumped between us and blocked him from touching me. What are you doing? He's not a good match for you, Nina. Trust me. But you don't even know him. I do. Lola looked so sad as she said that. Just then, Jamie's teammates walked by and dragged him away with them. See you later, Jamie. He turned and winked at me, then blew me a kiss. Oh my God, did you see that?
Yeah, I did, and so did Jenny.
A few meters away, Jenny was leaning against the wall, arms crossed and a scowl on her face.
Uh-oh, looks like she's planning your funeral.
Whatever, Jamie just kissed me. Yeah, I know it wasn't an actual kiss, but it was still a kiss. A couple of weeks later, my team and I traveled to another city for the annual school wrestling championships. When we arrived, I opened my hotel room and let out a scream. Lola was sitting on the bed, smiling at me. Lola, what are you doing here?
I came to support you, silly.
She got off the bed and hugged me, but I hesitated. I had so many questions. How did she get here before us? Who let her into my room? It was a little creepy. I woke up the next day to Lola standing over my bed, staring at me. Good morning, sunshine. Time to get ready. You have a big day ahead. She was wearing a t-shirt with my photo and name on it. Where did you even get that?
Oh, this. I had it made specially for today. Do you like it?
I had one made for you, too. She took an identical shirt from her bag and handed it to me. Come on, wear it so we can match. She looked so excited and I didn't have the heart to disappoint her, so I wore it. She teared up and hugged me so tightly. You look perfect, Nina. I laughed awkwardly. When I walked into the arena, I was nervous, but Lola cheered so loud that everyone joined her. When I won, she was close to hysterical. And just when I thought she couldn't get crazier, she did some cartwheels. The crowd jumped to their feet and cheered for her. She blew kisses at them, then took a bow.
Congratulations!
Lola hugged me, but someone pulled her away.
Get away from her, you crazy woman!
Dad, what are you doing here?
I came to surprise you, but then I saw you with her.
Hello, Harry. I see the years haven't been kind to you. Do you two know each other? Are you going to tell her, or should I? Tell me what? That I'm Melissa, your mother. My what? But Dad told me you were dead. He lied to you. If you don't believe me, then let me prove it. She took out wet wipes from her bag and started wiping off her makeup. Now that I noticed, I could tell she was wearing a lot of makeup. Then she took off her purple wig and freed her long blonde hair. Without her makeup and wig, she looked so much older. Dad, why would you keep me away from my mom?
This woman has never been a mother to you, Nina. She is evil, and you cannot trust her.
And I can trust you? You told me she was dead. He took a step toward me, but I raised my hands. Stay away from me! I ran out of the arena and hid in the school bus. But a few minutes later, Melissa joined me. Tears were rolling down her eyes. I'm really sorry I ruined your day. My day? You ruined my life! I know, and I'm really sorry. She handed me a piece of paper. This is my address. I have a room ready for you. I want you to come and live with me." I was going to tell her no, but then she broke into loud sobs and fell to her knees. Okay, stop. I'll move in with you." Melissa stood up and jumped with joy. Yay! Just like that, her tears were gone. Life at Melissa's house was great. Every day she'd pick me up from school and we'd go shopping. It was so much fun, and even though I missed my dad, I never called him. One day, Jamie came over to visit. Every time I got close to him, Melissa got between us. Literally. When it was time for him to leave, he leaned in to kiss me, but Melissa dropped a stack of plates and we both jumped. "You need to leave now, Jamie." Jamie looked terrified of her and ran out of the door before I could stop him. I turned to Melissa with blind rage. "Why did you do that? I'm your mother, and I know what's best for you. You've only been my mother for 5 minutes. That's enough, young lady. Go to your room." I walked off, wondering if I'd made a mistake picking her over Dad. The next morning, I walked into the dining room and found Melissa sitting with a stranger. "Nina, meet Dale, your new private tutor. You'll be homeschooled from now on." "Very funny. I'm going to school." "They won't let you in. I already withdrew you from that poor people's school." "You can't do that. Dad won't allow it. I'm calling him right now." As I dialed Dad's number, she grabbed my phone and dropped it into a jug full of juice. "Oh my God, what's wrong with you? You have everything you need here. You don't need to go outside and mix with poor people." I grabbed my bag and headed for the door, but when I tried to open it, a blaring alarm went off. It covered my ears and yelled at Melissa. "What's that?" "I installed a new security system to keep you safe." "Turn it off! I need to leave now." "You're never leaving this house, Nina." How did Melissa go from my BFF Lola to my mom, and now to the scary woman in front of me? She picked up her purse and walked past me. "I'm going shopping." As soon as she was gone, I pleaded with Dale. "I have to get out of here. Please help me." "What's so bad about living here?" "You're being so ungrateful to Melissa." "She's keeping me prisoner." Dale laughed. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. This place is a palace, not a prison." Dale was clearly not going to help me, so I grabbed his expensive laptop and ran with it to my bathroom. Dale hot on my heels. I turned on the bathtub and held the laptop over the water. "I'm going to drop this in the tub if you don't give me the security code for the front door." I let the laptop slip a little and Dale froze. Okay. Code is 9764. Now please give me my laptop." "I'm sorry." I dropped the laptop in the tub and ran. "Oh, you crazy!" As he tried to save it, I unlocked the door and sprinted down the driveway. I hailed a cab and asked the driver to take me to Dad's office across town. When we arrived, I borrowed the driver's phone and called Dad. As soon as he picked up, I started to cry. "I'm so sorry, Dad. I should have listened to you." "Nina, where are you?" "I'm outside your office." "I'll be right there, honey." A few minutes later, Dad ran out of his office and embraced me. "I'm so happy to see you. How about I take the day off and we go to your favorite restaurant? I want you to tell me everything that happened." At the restaurant, I told Dad how Melissa was nice at first, but then she changed. "I'm not surprised. That sounds just like her." "Why did she leave us for all those years?" "I lost my job when you were just a few months old. Melissa withdrew all our savings and left me to look after you alone." I was shocked to hear that my own mother abandoned me just because she didn't want to be poor. As we ate, the restaurant door swung open and in walked Melissa, followed by Jamie? "How did you find me? I put a tracker in all your shoes." "You're crazy! And why are you with Jamie?" "Well, I thought we could all have a family reunion. You see, Jamie is my son too." "What?" "Before I married your dad, I was married to Jamie's dad, but I left when Jamie was a baby. Same as you left me. So what if I left both of you? Your fathers were poor, but I'm rich now and you can come live with me as brother and sister." I was going to be sick. All this time I'd been crushing on my brother. I took my shoes off and threw them at Melissa. "You can keep those and everything else you bought." When Jamie saw what I'd done, he took off his new Rolex and threw it at Melissa. "You can keep that too. I'm sure you put a tracker on it." Jamie ran out of the restaurant, clearly upset. I wanted to run after him, but Dad stopped me. "Let him go, honey. He needs time to deal with the shock of what's just happened. Now, let's go home. You've had a long day." Dad took my hand and we left Melissa in the restaurant. A few days later, I bumped into Jamie at school. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. His hair was a mess and he kept rubbing his eyes. I reached out to remove some dirt from his hair, but loud laughter startled me.
Oh my god, did you just kiss your brother? That's like so ew!
No, she didn't. And how did you find out that Nina is my sister?
I was at the restaurant. I heard everything.
Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse.
Wait until I tell everyone what kind of freaks you both are.
You'll do no such thing. We turned to see Melissa standing behind us.
And how will you stop me? With this.
Melissa held out an old photo of Jenny for us to see.
Oh my god, your nose!
Jenny's nose in the photo was so huge it covered half her face. Give that to me! Where did you even get it? Funny story. I met someone special recently. His name is Dr. Sloan.
Ring a bell?
The color drained from Jenny's face.
That's my plastic surgeon! But he had no right sharing this photo with you! I'll sue him!
I stole the photo.
No, you stay away from Jamie and Nina, or I'll plaster your fat nose all over school! Fine!
Jenny walked away defeated. Thanks for that, but this doesn't change anything. I know. Actually, I'm here to say goodbye. I'm going on a year-long cruise with Dr. Sloan. I hope that one day you'll both forgive me. Maybe, but it'll take time. I understand. She hugged us briefly and left. Suddenly, Jamie burst out laughing.
Oh my god, did you see that nose?
Jamie, be nice. We both walked to class laughing. Having a brother wasn't so bad after all. And the end.